the auxiliary drive belt on a Fiesta, and like my car, mine's a Mark 6 and it doesn't have air conditioning, so it's sort of peasant mobile, and you need to take that into consideration. So when you go and buy your belt, it needs to make sure it's the right belt. They're all stretch fit anyway, but there's two different styles. There's one that's for an aircon car and one without. Basically, because the route the belt travels round, it has to travel around an aircon as well. So mine's not aircon. I've got the smaller size belt. Most garages or Moparts, car suppliers, you'd normally ask you this, or they'll take your registration as well, and then they'll give you the right belt. But just make sure you ask for the one which is with aircon or without aircon, depending on the car that you've got. So I'm just off to my granddad's house in a minute, where I've got a nice big driveway I can work on and show you how it's done. The tools you'll need for this job, pretty simple, just a socket set and a flathead screwdriver, and you should be sound. It takes about half an hour, if that. It's not really a big job, but it does save you a lot of money opposed to going to like a normal garage, or if you go to a Ford dealership it will actually charge you an arm and a leg for something that's relatively easy to do, minimal mechanical knowledge, and you know, a good how-to YouTube video should be able to teach you how to do it. So hopefully that's what you get out of this today. Auxiliary drive belt, you've got to take off with this piece of plastic trim here. It's very easy. Pull this clip up, and then it should just pull off. There we go, that's that one off. And then you've got to take off your headlight, which is either a flathead or a Torx in this one, and this one here. Flathead's probably easier because you can get out through this access point here to turn it off and get out. So now, just before you pull the headlight out, after you've undone them 3 nuts, you want to loosen the bumper off slightly. So there's 3 tabs here. There's one there, one there, and one there. It's that easy. Just push down and pull back. There you go. This just gives you a bit more wiggle room when you pull the headlight out, because the corner of there is obstructed by this, and it is quite flexible, so don't be scared to bend it, but you know, everything has a limit, so be careful as well. Once your headlight's sitting out loose, you've just got the connector behind it, which is this one here. If you press that little tab in there, it should click. There you go, and then just pull it off, and then remove your headlight, put it somewhere safe. So now you can actually see the auxiliary drive belt, which is this one here, goes around your alternator. It's not too hard to get at. What we're going to do is we're going to loosen the alternator by taking these 2 bolts, this one and this one, fully out, and we're going to slacken off this one just a little bit, and it's a 15mm socket, and to get this one you're probably going to have to put a knuckle on it, because it's got quite an awkward sort of reach to it. So I'll show you what I mean now. So this is the best way you're going to get a good purchase on that nut. So I've got a knuckle joint there in the bottom with a 15mm on, an extra long arm on the socket, and my ratchet. So you've got plenty of space within this headlight to move it now. Just crank that off a couple of turns so that's nice and loose, but definitely don't take it out just yet. So as you can see, I've undone that a little bit. You can see the washer spin underneath it. So just have a little bit of space there, because once you undo the alternator at the top, you want a bit of slack so you can get the belt off it. Once that's done, put your 15mm socket on the end of your socket, your wrench, that's it. And you're going to take these 2 off here. Ideally you want a long reach socket for this, but a small one is okay, just be very careful you don't round the head. And this one as well. And you want to bring them all the way back and take them fully out. So I'm back inside the car just to show you the belt I just took off, and as you can see, some wall wounds on there. It's quite a lot of sort of, you know, deterioration there, and the other way you see all the cracks in the rubber. So sort of, it was on its way out. I believe it had done 90,000 miles. So yeah, definitely time to change it. Here's the new belt, as you can see, nice and clean, no cracking on it at all, and it looks pretty good. Yeah, especially with something like that in there, definitely not something you want driving your main auxiliaries. So I'm going to swap it over to this one now. Just going to check that these are 100% the right size. As you can see, the top one, which is looser, that's the old one. The one below it is a bit tighter. And these are the stretch fits, so just remember that. So it should be a tiny bit smaller. These two definitely line up quite well, so definitely the right one. So something to take note of is when they're packaged, they come shaped like this, and when you let go of them, they're shaped like this. Now that's sort of the way it's going to be sat inside the car, and the route it takes round the auxiliaries. So ideally keep it like this. It's a lot easier than forcing it in a different way, because that's the way it's going to be shaped roughly anyway. So when you slide it in, just keep it like this, put it in, and it's a bit hard to do this with one hand, but if I can do it, anyone can. Push it in and try and get around the first ring of your main output shaft. And once it's round there, get like a flathead screwdriver or something, poke it in and try and knock it up to the ring just above it, because that's the one it's going to be sat on. So it is one of them easier said than done type of jobs, and you can actually get it in there. There's enough room to put your hand in and just sort of wiggle around and just knock it over to the next pulley, so it's just on top of it. Once it's there, then you want to line it up around this one at the bottom and make sure it sits just below this one, which is your water pump. And then once it's all done, knock it just over the top of this one here, which is your alternator. And as you can see, when you push your alternator back up to where it should be, it'll retain the tension. Right, so next you're going to tighten up this bolt a little bit more. Once it's tight, and when I mean tight, I mean sort of like when it's starting to give you some resistance, stop. That's tight enough for now. This does still need to move on this, so don't tighten it too tight so it can't move, because that's just basically like sort of helping you locate the top two pins. Once that's done, slide one bolt into this first and move it over. Now as you can see, this is just slightly off it, but it is tapered for that reason, so it does find itself in there and locates. So you're going to need to push the alternator to the right as you're doing it, and it should locate itself to that pin. Then just crank it up, tighten it up, and it'll pull itself straight. So once you've got these top two bolts located and they're screwed in pretty well, don't tighten up like really tight just yet. Just before you do that, tighten this one up so it lines it all up nice and clean first, and then once you've done this one, tighten them top two up. Obviously someone might have to get at this one day, so don't swing off it like a monkey, just get it nice and tight, and that should be it really. There are 3 bolts on here, so it's pretty secure as it is, but you know, don't be going nuts with it, just tighten it up as tight as you think, and you should be done. Headlight back on, plastic trim on, and job's a good one.